West Ham at home. So I was going to go to the game, and then last time we went to West Ham, one of the West Ham games, there's a load of hassle in a sense in the stadium and outside the stadium, and now because I still live at home, I've got to still go through my parents in a sense. My dad's banned me from it because of what happened outside last time. There's quite a few fights really. So I couldn't go to it, which sadly because I want to go watch Tottenham, but in a sense it was a painful game. It was a if you could show Tottenham even the last 5 games, if you was to sum up Tottenham, it would have been those games. So much hope, so much desire, willingness, but never being able to get that finishing product. And I think there's a few reasons for it. So obviously the main one you can go to straight away is the injuries, but that's quite a boring sort of answer in a sense of, yeah, we've heard that there's so many injuries, but even if you're looking at that starting 11 compared to the West Ham, and you look at how we played in the first 20-30 minutes, we're a better team. And even throughout the 90, I'd say we're overall a better team. The West Ham had some moments where they was better than us over a 5-minute period a couple of times. So about 15 minutes of the game, I'd say overall they was better than us. But I don't think they deserved it, really. But in a sense they did, because they did something what we didn't, and they was clinical. They had a couple shots the whole game, they finish them. We have loads, we have so many opportunities, and it hates me to say it, but it was very much like not the end of Arsene Wenger's tenure at Arsenal, but a couple of years beforehand when they was trying to make the perfect sort of goal. And they make the triangles around the edge of the box, and they try get it, so then we'd be tapping it in rather than having a shot. And there's it's happening a lot in modern football, because we've been into it's a lot more percentage sort of stat-based football now. So they're trying to make a chance which is 100% of a goal, rather than when you saw before there's a lot of individual brilliance, in the sense of there'd be that one player and they'd switch it on, they'd go around with a couple of players, or there'd be a Steven Gerrard or a Lampard, or when Yarmo a few seasons ago at Liverpool, just have a shot. Danny Rose against Arsenal, have a shot. If that was Danny Rose, if we had that Arsenal game where Danny Rose scored now, he'd take a touchdown and we'd pass it back, and then we go to the right hand side and we go down to the byline, cross wouldn't be on, then we come back, go to the middle, keep switching it until we find an opening. I think that's not an issue just with Tottenham, but an issue just in football in general now. It's a lot more trying to do the perfect game rather than it's a game of football. We want to see a little bit of flair sometimes. And when you name flair players, probably 5 or 6 really like world-class ones now. There's not really those like impact players you can just dribble around loads of people doing a solo goal. It's very much, if they try that, they're looked down upon. You've got it at City now with Jeremy Doku. Guardiola changed his whole practice now to fit his style, which is a lot more individual rather than a team base. Vinicius Junior has a little bit less now, but in previous seasons a lot more individual brilliance. Now it's a little bit more passing, but not as much because it's Ancelotti's style of play. But I think that's where Tottenham go wrong in a sense, and Brian Hill's got the potential to be that, but obviously he needs a little bit more strength. I also think when we're in our own half, it's very risk-taking when we're watching it. It's always, I always say, squeaky bum time. Yeah, like, you see a Basuma, he's doing a little half-time, he tried it at City, we lost the ball, things like that. Or the other day, trying to do some really Steven Gerrard split needle passes and things. It's very risk efficient in our half, and it works quite well. It has its downfalls, but more often than not, we're getting out of it well. But then when we get into the opponent's half, especially the opponent's final third, it seems there's less risk. I don't know if other people can see it as well, but it seems we do the build-up play in the opponent's half, and the risk-taking and individual brilliance in our own half. And normally throughout football, it's been the opposing. So you do your build-up play slow, you pass it round, find the opening at the back, and then you break. Now we're breaking and then doing the build-up play, trying to get around the opponents. It's kind of counterintuitive, but it's just a counter to what used to happen. So I think we need some more players who can just grab a game. I think the players need to also be a lot more feeling uncomfortable. There's a lot of moments you see it in the game and no one wants to take a shot with their weak foot, and it's really like annoying to see, or they don't want to take a risky shot. And when Pape Sarr came on, straight away just having shots, and that's what you want to see. He's a very like a risky sort of player. But you saw Brian Hill, it really irritates me with him because he got a weak foot in a sense, but he never used it. The other week he was shifting it to the left, and it's not working. Kulusevski, it's always, obviously there was in the previous, Robin used to be brilliant and it was cutting in, but we need a second trick with the attackers because Kulusevski's always cutting in. And then you only had Porro on that right hand side who'd drive and hit the byline, cross it back. Kulusevski had come to edge of the box, really. Cut back, pass back, cut back, pass back. We'd be on a break, cut back, pass back. Then West Ham flood the box and we can't get through. There's not a archetypal, I can't say that, archetypal, whatever, winger. He's just going to get the ball and sprint down line. I know we've had it for last season, it was the same in a sense. Both our wingers were inverted, Son and Kulusevski, but it still worked quite well because Kane would hit the balls over the top of the defenders and then they'd be running down line anyway, so they'd be facing goal. But how we're playing, we're always facing our own goal. Because we're so quick with that build-up, then we slow down in the opponent's half. We're now waiting for the ball, so we're now facing our own goal. So then what's going to happen is our first touch or our second touch is now going to have to be either a spin round a defender, or it's going to be a touch and spin, or we're just going to have to bounce past it back. And most of the time, we get the ball and we're just bouncing it, and looking for that little passageway through. I saw a quote from Guardiola previously, and it was, the reason we move the ball is to move the opponents, which is brilliant. It's one of those, once you hear it, it makes so much sense, but we're trying to move the opponents so much that we don't move ourselves. And I think it needs that person who's just going to be like, right, I'm getting this goal, I'm taking the ball, I'm driving with it, like we do in defence. Like, we've done it when Basuma's just ran out, Udogi's ran out, Brian Hill against City, that lovely turn at the edge of the box. We didn't see that the other day. And I think that's what we need to start focusing on. Another thing, which is obviously I feel sorry for, is we're struggling to score goals, and we've just lost our top goal scorer in our club's history. No one's talking about that. People have said previously at the start of the season, how will Tottenham do without Kane? And now we're struggling to score goals and finish off games after being 1-0 up. And we've not got a proper number 9. They're wondering, why aren't we scoring the goals? Well, we don't have a striker. Son is brilliant up front, don't get me wrong. Not a 9. I quite like Son when we've previously had him when he's a 9 next to him, like when we had Kane and Son up top. Or if he's on the left still, like he was at the last 30 minutes the other day. I like Son in those positions. I like him up top, but we need a number 9, and don't really have that. Richarlison's a number 9, but he's not to our standard. Veliz is good, not our play style. He's good for the last 10-15 minutes, but not really. I think Veliz would shine if we had, on the left, it was constantly a Johnson, or on the wings, always a Johnson or a Perisic. If we had Johnson on the right and Perisic on the left, Veliz would be brilliant up top because he's got a volley, he's got a head, like, brilliant. He'd just take crosses all day and score. But Kulusevski very rarely crosses the ball, especially with his right, when you're headering the ball, when you're a striker number 9 and you want a power header it, you need it an in swinger rather than one going towards the goal, which is Kulusevski going to do from the right hand side. It's more not any striker, but if you're not as good in the air, a little like a nod on is easier than a full on like power header towards goal. So I think that's what we're struggling with. We don't have an actual number 9. It's an obvious point, but no one's talking about we're missing Kane. They said we might miss Kane and things like that. And I think Ange's starting to say it. He said it the other day about, or this morning, sorry, about, oh, well, we lost Kane the day before the season. It's been a hard season. So I'm hoping we get actual number 9 in, so then you pass it to him, it's a goal. Son, you know he's going to score. He's running towards goal, and then he's going to on a 1v1. But is he going to be one of those who just pops up in the box and scores a goal? He can, but not all the time. He's not like a Kane would and things like that, or even in the past at Berbatov, or even at other clubs like Chicharito at Man United. Lovely pronunciation. I'm sure people are going to mock me for that. But I saw today we was linked to Dusan Vlahovic from Juventus. We was linked to him before when he was at his old club. I forgot who now. Fiorentina, I believe it was. And it was the season where it was us and Arsenal linked to him in January. I forgot who he signed instead. I'm not sure about him. Don't think he'd fit our star player. I hope I'm proven wrong, but I saw the price tag of over 100 million, like 100 or 150 million, and I'm not sure we'd get that sort of player. If I'm spending 150 million, I'd go for Osimhen. Fits our star player more, better striker, better number 9, rather than just a target sort of player. A lot more to his game. Can beat a man over the top or turning. He can finish the ball. He can header a ball. Things like that. A lot better, I think, and suit us more. I'd even go for even a younger player or someone in the league. I like Ollie Watkins. People are saying Ivan Toney, but I don't like his characteristics. I don't like his personality. Like when he's slagged off his club before, partying a lot and stuff like that. Yes, people can have days off and stuff, but it seems even with a betting, it seems football's a job for him rather than a passion. And when you see players like Son, football's a passion before it's a job. And you see Sonny, who's had an interview before, he's not going to get married till he's retired from football because he wants to focus on football. Toney, I don't think he is. He might move to Tottenham, be amazing, but from how he's shown himself so far, he's a brilliant footballer. But off the pitch, I think he might disturb change room, maybe things like that, or might lead youngsters down the wrong path. Might be wrong, and I could be bad me saying that, but that's just my opinion from the outset. I don't know him, but I think we need a striker. If not, a player I've been saying that I've wanted at Tottenham for a while, but especially now, would fit us perfectly. Not a proper number 9, but he can play there. He can play every position in the attacking third. Antoine Griezmann. I reckon you could this is just a figure, but you probably get him for 50-60 mil. Hopefully we can get rid of Richarlison for 40 mil. Another 20 mil, you should be able to get Griezmann. Griezmann plays on the left, can turn on inside left. He can play as a number 10. He can play as a striker, but as a right winger. We got no Maddison at the moment. He can go in Maddison's role. If we Johnson or we've got no Solomon, we've got no Perisic, we've just got Johnson really on the left, he can go there as well. If we need him to go up front, he can go there. If we've got no Brian Hill and Kulusevski and Johnson's out, he can go on the right. He can start in any one of those positions, and other than Son, he'd be the best player. And I think it's a marquee signing. I'm waiting for that marquee, like, right, I want to get his top. I want to see him play. I've seen him play on TV. I've seen him play live, and his movement, his passing, I just think he'd fit us perfectly. I think if you put him, if we had a lineup and it was, I know it counts as what I said earlier, but if you could swap them around, but Griezmann, Son, Kulusevski, Maddison. 3 of those people can play in 3 of the positions, so then you could have natural rotations throughout the game. Maddison might go on the left, Griezmann might go on the right, Kulusevski might come in the middle, or you might have Griezmann in the 10, you might have Maddison on the left, Kulusevski on the right, you might have then Griezmann goes up top, you might have then Son goes on the left. There's so much versatility then what can happen in the game, ruin defenders and make them be, who am I defending, where are they going? Am I going on the right, left? Do I drop? Do I go higher? What do I do? I think that sort of player, brilliant. He can dribble, he can pass, he can finish. He's a good egg from the outlook. Also, it will be a fan favourite because he's in the French training session before. There was the clue and he headed a ball, scored a header, and as he was jumping for the header, he goes, Harry Kane! Like, it's just little things like that. Like, I think that sort of player would be brilliant for us. Obviously, we still need a defender. I'm not sure who we'd get, in the sense of, do we get someone now? From how he's played, I don't mind Davies. People mock him. I don't mind Davies. I think you keep Davies for now instead of getting a stopgap player. Then you go in the summer. We try get. We need so many people in the summer. Obviously, Forster's just signed a new contract, but do we need a new goalkeeper to be a second option? Left back. Do we need a new left back to help Udogie? You got Sessegnon. How will he come back? Will he be able to actually play in more than 2 games? Centre back, you've only got Romero and Van de Ven. Then you've got Tanganga, I believe, is alone. Then you've also got Davies. You've got Rodon coming back, but I'm not sure on Rodon. Davies I have as a squad player, but I'd want someone else in the summer. Tanganga, I'd let him go now, sadly. Then on the right, I'd pretty say about getting rid of Emerson. I love Emerson, but as an sort of right back, I'm not sure he's the one. Then do you need more midfielders in the sense we've seen this year? Do we have the quality? If you get rid of Højbjerg, you need to replace him. Then Bassoon has not been amazing as of recently, so do you need some more competition for him? But then does that push Ollie Skip to the side? Then do we need someone so Sarr can go on alone? I think he's still early in his career. Then does Lo Celso want to go? Then if we get the Griezmann, then he can fill in for a Lo Celso role. Solomon is all up in the air stuff at the moment. Do you want to get rid of him? Perisic is going to be going. You're looking at the squad and we've got a great squad, but it's still shallow in the sense of when it comes to summer, every position can be upgraded. Then we need someone to come in ready for when Son's going to go. I think we've still got 2 seasons after this with Son, but you don't want to be in a predicament where you've got like the Harry Kane scenario and there's no one to replace him, there's no straight swap. So do you start bringing someone in now, or is that someone already at the club? Is that a Johnson or something like that? But I'm not really sure. I think Johnson's better on the right, personally. So you took Johnson on the right as the backup to Kulu. Who have we got on the left? So I think there's still a lot of areas of improvement. But to go back on the West Ham game, I think what we was missing is that number 9. I think we need that number 9 who you can put. If I was to put about every game and be like, he's going to score, he's going to get some shots on target at least. But we haven't got that at the moment, and I think that's something we need to invest in either in January, or we need to get definitely in the summer at the latest. I'm still confident with this season. I still think we're going to finish at least 4th. I think we can push 3rd or 2nd. If we can get everyone back and we have a strong January, I think we can challenge. Not saying we win it, but 9 points off Arsenal, I believe, at the moment. Arsenal will start to have cracks. They're winning like champions, but I just can't picture them winning it. I think Liverpool's the favourite, then City, then Arsenal. It will show on this weekend when Villa hopefully beat them. So I think we can still, that's 3 games. We play Arsenal at home, 6-point game. They drop 3 points and we win getting 3 points. That means we're 6 points off them. Then then we just got to catch up 2 other games. It's doable. Like, the season, we're only 15 games in or so. Still over half the season left. We can still challenge and still do well. So, although it's horrible to lose these games and things like that, we're showing promise. We just need to be clinical. And maybe, just maybe, it means some of the youngsters step up and they come into a number 9 position. I doubt it, but maybe. Who knows? I remember before there was a youngster and he came through after there was problems up top, broke into the first team and then became our club top goal scorer. So who knows? But I hope you enjoyed my first sort of chat in a sense and my opinion on the West Ham game and Tottenham going forward, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Cheers.